morning, everybody. I'm being honored here in PM-Tage, and I feel so delighted here being in Germany, doing this speech for you. This is like a dream come true. I prepared myself very well to fulfill your expectations, but last night there was a last-minute requirement, like always in projects. I met a project manager who has been here for 24 years in Germany, and he was from Cameroon. And he asked for an additional requirement, and I quote, evidence, says, Mr. Reyes, I look forward for your early presentation, but I have to remind you that it's the first presentation of the day, and you have to wake up all. So I say to myself, wow, this is a risk that I have to mitigate. So what can I do to wake you all? Okay, I remind, well, maybe an early stretch, right? So if you don't mind, if you can all stand up, I can appreciate. Remember, I'm 59 years old, so for me, early stretch is how much you can stretch to get your second biscuit in the morning. So that's it. So first, those of you that identify yourself with even numbers, like 2, 4, 8, raise your hand. Even numbers. Okay, even numbers. So those that have even numbers, you can put your hands like this to remind you that you always think in pairs, right? I can imagine that all of you all are odd numbers, right? So you can join your hands like this, just to remind that you are single, in that sense. So stay still a little, okay? Okay. Evidence is all. Okay, so I can bring back the evidence that after my speech, I have a standing ovation. Huh? Okay. Right. Today, you can see now, this is our early stretch. Oh, right. So we're ready. Today, we bring you case histories about how we can approach sustainability in different ways. 3 cases, one of the municipality of Panama. Oh, a municipality doing project management. That's like an oxymoron, right? The second is Copa Airlines. How do you approach project management in an industry that is focused in operations? And projects are like, it's too tight to process. It's operations. And third is the Panama Canal and how the use of a master plan in program management can guarantee long-term sustainability. With that in mind, I just want to say that we project manager has to go forward and have more open-minded in terms of what is the basic of the meaning to do projects and programs. Originally, we say, well, we do projects and programs in order to fulfill strategic objectives, in order to have this vision be materialized. And those projects and programs is the things that add value to an organization in order that their operations can continue to produce value. And that triangle that you see there is the base of sustainability. You continue to do projects and programs in order to continue to produce value, to have long-term sustainability. But now you have not only to achieve that strategic objective, but you have to fulfill stakeholder satisfaction. Stakeholder satisfaction, and that's the new focus. Well, our first case that we will talk this morning is about how the municipality of Panama, considering stakeholder satisfaction, is becoming a smart city, and with that achieving sustainability. We did that as part of an organization that I belong, is a NGO, is APGP. We're part of our IPMA family in Panama. And before that, we had to know a little history about Panama City. Panama City is a very unique place. It was the first city in the Americas that was used by the Spaniards as a logistics center to conquer the entire Americas. And you see, that changed a lot of how we are in Panama. Well, Panamanians are not like we don't like tortillas. We eat bread in the morning. And we have this way to speak Spanish, not like the Argentinians, Colombia, like we think they're singing when they are talking. But now we talk a different kind of Spanish. It's because how our context is. You see, the rest of the Americas, if every day they wake up, they do crops harvesting, they do mining, they do manufacturing in order to gain $1. We in Panama, we wake every morning to see who's passing through Panama to grab $1. That's a different way and how our society have worked. Is the third sector, is services. And that's how Panama is moving to be one of the best economies in the Americas. And we're building a lot of projects and programs around it. Well, the city of Panama has a long thing, 500 years. We're not, the entire country is 3.5 million, considering the 500,000 Venezuelans that we have got from Chavez and some Cubans and immigrations. So there's not too much people in Panama. The city gets around 50%. So if you are the mayor of city of Panama, maybe you will become the next president. And that's common. So it was very strategic for us, for APGP, to go in and sign this agreement with the municipality of Panama that convinced the mayor that he has to go with some kind of project program portfolio management in order to achieve their objectives. And how you do that to a politician? How can you convince a politician about that? And you have to talk the language of your client. And that's why we have to tailor up our project management approach. Now you say to him, well, you have this government plan because it's part of the feedback of the citizenship. Well, we call that strategic planning, but you can still call it your government plan. See? So we'll put it in the system. And then we will do this PMO office. Oh, what's a PMO? No, a PMO office just to manage those projects that you have identified in order that you achieve that before the next election. That's good, quite good, right? So we achieve that, and we sign up an agreement with the municipality, and we went forward and customized a project management system for them, which has an IT platform, very easy, and it will go with clear processes. Processes like you have this strategic plan, which is run by the framework that you work in the government, but you have to formulate each one of those initiatives. Then you have to plan it, then you have to follow up, and then you assess and you close it to see if the benefit has been achieved. And with that, we can use some standards, and we use the IPMA standards, IPMA ones, in terms of governance, in terms of organization, and in terms of individual competence, So we convinced them, and they were very pleased to accept that because it was part of their overall goals that have the mayor and he has promised in the elections. So we went forward, and he actually did the plan. They certified people in project management, and actually the system was certified in ISO 9001. And finally, it passed the ITMA Delta certification at level 3. So it was a very much accomplishment for the municipality. And lately, in an event that was in Mexico, in front of 14,000 municipalities, the municipality of Panama was given an award of innovation because it was the first municipality in the world that achieved a certification on project management. So the mayor was very pleased. Everybody happy, but the good thing is that suddenly project and initiative starting to be delivered, starting to work as a portfolio for the municipality. They did smart cameras for the city. They widened the sidewalks. They have these smart bus stops with Wi-Fi. They started to do things that can transform the city into a smart city, which give citizens satisfaction and overall sustainability of the city. And one of the things that they did best was to transform what we call the causeway. The causeway is it was a fill that was done during the construction of the canal, like a breakwater, and it was so long that it joined 3 islands in the Gulf of Panama, which are Perico, and Flamenco, and Naus. The mayor decided that this was the best place to enhance the city so the citizens can have a place to go and enjoy and is a sightseeing of the entire city. And I want to show the result of PMO doing the work that have to be done in order to achieve the deliverables of a portfolio and program in a system well developed for and tailored for the municipality of Panama. Cycling. Bio Museo by Frank Gehry. There's a new major convention center being built. Some real estate. And there's always opportunity to do some ports for cruise terminals. Projects like this contributes to the satisfaction of the citizens and transform our city into a smart city. And this is how project management was tailored to a municipality, and they're getting the benefits of doing best practices. Second story I want to share with you is what I'm doing right now with Copa Airlines. I have a year, almost 13 months in Copa Airlines. Before I had 34 years in the Canal. I was asked by the CEO of Copa Airlines to my boss, the administrator, if he can lend him a project manager, because they wanted to guarantee that the new terminal will be delivered in order that their operations will not be affected. So my boss came to me and said, I want to loan you to Copa. I say, yes, boss, where do you want me to go? I'll say, you will go to Copa and deliver. So when you finish there, you come back. So I'm 12 months in Copa Airlines. I shifted my vessels with containers to airplanes and passengers. Definitely bad career move. Containers doesn't blame if you hit them, and if you don't please a passenger, you get insulted in 7 languages at least. So it's a big difference how you manage projects in an airline business. So with that in mind, we say, we have to change the way that we do project management here. First thing, I have done many projects as a contractor. So I do project management and as a contractor, I deliver. I have done project management as the representative of the owner to oversee the works of a contractor. But now I'm doing project management from the client to oversee that the owner and the contractor is doing well. So how you do that? There's no reference. So we have to decide how we tailor this out. So we are proposing a new way to approach project management when you have this kind of conditions. Most of the consultants do that. And it's based on stakeholder satisfaction. First of all, project management right now is in dark ages still. You see, only 21% of projects deliver everything. And 80% of the projects use more than one method of project manager. Sometimes they use Prince or use Agile, they think like that. This is desperate ways to achieve projects. But the issue is that projects, like you see in the graph, are affected because overall stakeholder satisfactions are not fully satisfied, and that's why change management is emerging. Change management come in because organizations are seeking for help in order that the projects that they deliver are let's say, accepted by the users. We have to convince the users that this is a project that is the best thing that can happen in your life. Wow. I'm a civil engineer. And when we deliver projects, the only thing that we receive from our client is, who was the stupid guy that put that stair there? I don't want that. Oh, this is not the way I want it. And why? Because the only guy that loves the project is the project manager. That's his daddy. Huh? He has lived every piece of his nature and evolving until it grows into a deliverable. And then we have to address that. We have done that strategic triangle that I taught before for a lot of time. But there's some resistance. Some resistance says that, oh, I don't want the project, or it doesn't work, or I don't know what's the project about. So if we have to deal only with that criteria, we will not be able to resolve this issue of change management. So we came out with new processes. Say, well, in an airline business, the strategy goes to the operations. But what is the link of strategy with operations? Is the business model or the operational model. So a project should be aligned more to the business model and the operational model, and in addition to the strategic model. In that way, we can consider more the main stakeholder expectations into the planning process. And with that in mind, we changed our approach on project management. Specifically, we align the project to the business model in addition to the organizational strategy. We incorporate then change and transformation within the making of the project management method. And we maintain good practices for risk, for schedule and cost that we have already in traditional regular project management. And we formalize issue management, which is 80% of what we do on a daily basis to resolve things at the field and in the office. And we control the documents, which is mainly one of our cultural deficiencies in Latin America. We Latin people, we don't like to fill forms. We don't like nothing like that. But I tell people, you see, when you fill that form, it's like having their seatbelt. It's just when you crash, when you have a crash, they say, luckily I have my seatbelt. When you're in problem, luckily that I signed that receipt and I did this contract well done, because I will be in problems. So document control is something that has to be enforced. And then with that in mind, we changed a little the model. We say, well, we have to link the project management to the business model. And in the concept and planning phase, we should, in addition to define those functional requirements and the stakeholder analysis that we do to do our communication plan, we have to do our quality plan. But now our quality plan is not only planning and ensuring quality or quality control. It's commissioning the deliverables. So in the early stage, went into the operations and bringing people in to participate in the commissioning of this new baby that is coming. So they can get in touch with the expectations and the let's say deviations, and they can accept them very quickly and doesn't cost the organization this change management process. Considering that in mind, then we do the execution mainly in contract management, doing good document control, in the resource management, in doing all what actually is all about our goals is to achieve effective cost. See, everything finally is cost. My boss always says, I see $3 sitting there. Everything is cost. And communicating to all stakeholders through their communication plan. When we do the deliverable, we have to incorporate the decision makers into the process. Most of us do projects, and our bosses are not, let's say, participating in that decision making. It's just until things has to be escalated. But we have to communicate very often that in terms of risk management, change management, cost management, issue management, and milestone management. Our bosses doesn't want to know the bolts and nuts of the projects, but they need to know that key deliverables are being achieved in order that the project can be, the goals can be also achieved. But the actual change in the new process is the commissioning. The commissioning now is an extension of the quality effort. We develop a system called Reyes. We like a lot the acronyms. Reyes says that each time you evaluate a work package, you have to make a diagnosis of the resources, or what kind of resources, when we deliver that package, we'll need from the organization. In the other hand, we have to verify the operations. Okay, when this project has been delivered, how many procedures, manuals have to be changed or upgraded? There's a lot of work around it. Sometimes projects are delivered, and then the operations and the guys have to take a lot of effort to upgrade their manuals in terms of nomenclature or whatever change has been done in their plan layouts. The third thing is the easy one, the infrastructure. We have the project package, and we have to define what's the infrastructure that is needed in order to fulfill the operation requirements. And then finally, the systems. Which systems need to be verified in order that they have been aligned to the new technologies or whatever element that the project comes from. With that first diagnostic, we can then do the entire project. This is a quality map of that process that goes across the entire cycle. In the assessment phase, what we do with the resources is that we analyze the organization to see what is the need of some change, especially when you have programs. When you do programs, there's always a change in the organization because you have achieved an objective that has been part of your strategic planning. It's like when you grow up and you get married. You can no longer go with your pulse doing some things. You change your life. So everything changed when you achieve a program objective. The other thing that you do in operations is after you do the concept of the manuals that have to be changed, infrastructure, you do the operational requirements, and the system, you do the system alignment to the new projects. As you do the execution or implementation, You identify and hire and train in terms of your resources. You do the modifications and revisions to those manuals and procedures. You do those assessment recommendations to improve the capacity of the organization with infrastructure. And you do the recommendation for the development of new systems. And then you pass in the final deliverables, you certify competence in the organization. You do the deployment of those new procedures or inductions. You verify for acceptance your infrastructure, and you test for acceptance those new systems. And after that, your product is delivered, and then the KPIs in terms of the operations and be reviewed to verify that this new project that comes in has not affected the operational KPIs. We know there will be a learning curve, but for an airline industry like Copa, that we are number one in punctuality in the world, connectivity is everything. So if we do a project that add 2 minutes in the time of arrival, it affects the entire organization in his competitivity. So a final report is then done to guarantee that the project itself has been aligned to the operational model or the business model, and everybody's pleased. So you have this change management integrated into the quality system as the commissioning. And that's how we tailor the project management approach into an operation that is fully devoted into operationals on a daily basis. On the long run, then, in Copa Airlines, the model now, projects and programs give deliverables with add value to the organization, but that deliverable now is what moves the continuous improvement of the operations of the project, which on the other hand maintain the sustainability of the operations with stakeholder satisfaction. And that's how project management practices has been adapted to an organization which is purely focused in operation on a daily basis. I will show what Copa has done. As an airline industry, we are very we don't share a lot of our current objectives because of the competence.
Every year,
and I'm showing
millions of people
what we
connect
have done
through Panama
before.
to the main destinations in the Americas, more than from any other country in Latin America. Some travel to be reunited with their loved ones, others to attend business meetings, or just to relax. Whatever the reason for their trip, each day the majority of passengers who depart or connect through the hub of the Americas at Panama's Tocumen International Airport choose Copa Airlines as the most direct way to connect with the Americas because it offers the greatest number of flights and destinations with the shortest connection times. Copa Airlines has expanded for the past 6 decades by implementing high service standards and effective operational models, even creating the first hub in Latin America. At the same time, it has introduced cutting-edge technologies year after year. And established business strategies that have represented milestones in Latin American aviation, consolidating itself as a world-class airline. In this manner, by introducing new routes, improving schedules and connections, we will continue supporting the economies of countries promoting commerce, trade, and tourism throughout the entire region. But above all, we will continue growing so that our passengers always enjoy the best connectivity in the Americas.
Our third case and last exposition here is what we did with the third set of locks project in the Panama Canal. And it incorporates two actions in terms of sustainability. what we call inclusive practices and focusing in master planning. Inclusive practices is trying to engage those stakeholders that are working in the project but on long-term sustainability. Inclusive practices includes clauses in contract that says you have to train these guys in the field in order that when they finish the project, they can maintain a company or a work status that can guarantee their sustainability on long term. So their experience in the project can be expanded across. So that's contributing to the communities that are affected by the project. In that sense, also includes some environmental things, like include water management, citizen participation, promote the economic and social development of the areas that we affect, improve the coordination between the agencies that participate in, and best practices in project management. One of those practices is the use of master plans. When you do projects and programs, you have to be aware that there are part of master plans, that the master plan runs on a hierarchy on the project's definition, scope, and functional requirements. For example, when we were doing these new locks, you see that yellow square there, we decided to clean an area of 1,200 hectares of unexploded ordnance. Remember, the U.S. has used Panama as a training ground for all their weapons. And we have hectares and hectares that are full with unexploded ordnance. And people will say, well, but this is not part of the scope of the project. But it's part of what we need to have then after this project is delivered. You see, when you do a big project like expansion program and big ships will pass in, all the area that is adjacent to that project become a precious land. So we went in and we did the entire, we took out more than 10,000 unexploded ordnance in that area. And it's a very unique way to do it. You just line the people in and they walk. They walk with on sensors and they take out everything that is exploding. You know? So we cleaned the area. We cleaned the area and people were still saying, why you did that? It's not in the scope of the project. But that cleaning of those 1,200 hectares will become this after we complete the expansion program of the third set of blocks. It's part of a master plan to achieve the benefit of our position. When you are doing a project as the third letter lock, you say, I have to deliver these locks according to the schedule, to the cost, and the scope that we have delivered. When you do the expansion program, you say, I have to guarantee that the canal has the capacity to respond to current and trends on the demand of maritime work commerce. But when you do portfolio management with a master plan, you have to say, I'm doing this project because I have to take the most of the best asset that has the Republic of Panama, which is a strategic location. So with that in mind, the upper management has to know that master plans are now part of their long-term sustainability. And luckily, we have now tools that we can see what will become this new master plan in the next 10 years in Panama with an investment of more than $12 billion. New ships are coming, so we have opportunities for a fourth bridge across the canal with new ports that will take the advantage of this consolidation of cargo. The canal is building a 5 million TEU port in Corozal right now, in addition to the works that have been advanced in the design of new railroads. that will contribute to use the land, but with energy-based photovoltaic islands to provide the energy that will be needed to develop those 1,200 hectares of unexploded ordnance that now will become area for development and consolidating of cargo with runoff, with logistics, taking advantage of that the canal is just adjacent to them. Many multi-purpose ports that will feed up warehouses to accommodate from regular goods to anything that can be sold abroad or to the US or to Europe, coming mainly from China, and also agricultural products that can be stored there, pharmaceutical, and why not data. We are in the crosshair of all the major cables, perishables, and with that in mind, since we are a country that you can have breakfast in the morning in the Atlantic and have lunch in the Pacific in just 2 hours, we can achieve that. A little country like ours have a lot of impact to other countries. If Panama doesn't do something, 30% of the economy of Ecuador is affected, and 11% of the economy of the US. So things and decisions of a little country right now affects International Maritime Congress. So as I say, we're a little country in the world. If we do best practices with our local governments, with citizen participation and becoming a smart city, we enhance the citizen satisfaction. And if the canal do what he has to do, we can control 144 routes, 1,700 ports, and more than 160 countries. And in addition now with Copa, with the Air Hub, we control 75 routes with 31 countries. So a little country like this, you see, if it's not in Panama, it's not done. So that's how we're running the world. A little country with projects and programs doing what is necessary to achieve our objective to be the logistics of the Americas. And that's how long-term sustainability is achieved. Thank you very much. I leave you with this statement of John Paul: the development is a new name of peace. And that's how it's been achieved through projects. Thank you very much.